Okay, number 36 and 37 are to divide. Now number 36 says we're going to divide by a monomial, a single term. So the technique to divide polynomials by a monomial is to separate the terms and handle them individually. So notice that each term gets divided by the 6x to the 6th. And then you just handle each term as a single term. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. And then the x to the 6th divide out. Minus 24 divided by 6 is 4. And 6 minus 3, because remember when you're dividing, you subtract exponents. So 6 minus 3 is 3. We'll put the larger exponent, we'll put the remaining exponents where the larger one was. So 3 minus 4 over x to the 3rd would be the answer to that division problem. Now you cannot handle number 37 the same way. Number 37 is not being divided by a single term or a monomial like number 36. So you must use long division for this problem. So let's set it up using the long division format. The divisor goes on the outside, and then each of these terms needs to be written in order, and if you have any missing terms, you would replace them with the 0 placeholders. We don't have any missing terms, so we'll just write the polynomial down. Okay, so x times what gives you 6x cubed? Well, that would be 6x squared. So remember to distribute the 6x squared times the whole divisor. So 6x squared times x is 6x cubed. 6x squared times 4 is 24x squared. And remember we want to subtract. So subtracting means changing the signs. First term always cancels. Bring down the rest of the problem. So 15 minus 24 is negative 9x squared minus 28x plus 32. And start all over again. X times what gives you negative 9x squared? Well, that would be negative 9x. So distribute the negative 9x times the entire divisor. So negative 9x times x is negative 9x squared. Negative 9x times 4 is negative 36x. And now we want to subtract. That means change the signs. First terms always cancel. Bring down the rest of the problem. Negative 28x plus 36x is positive 8x plus the 32. And start all over again. X times what gives you 8x? Well, that's plus 8, a positive 8. Distribute the 8 times the whole divisor, so 8 times x is 8x, and 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract. Remember that means to change the signs. First term always cancels, and in this case we have a remainder of 0 because 32 minus 32 is 0. So the answer to this problem is 6x squared minus 9x plus 8. Okay, solve the proportion. Remember, a proportion is when you have a ratio equal to another ratio. Ratios are just fractions. So fraction equals a fraction is a proportion, and you can cross multiply. So 3 times x is 3x, and 2 times the quantity 2x plus 3. So these two things are equal. This equals that. Okay, and now just solve. We need to distribute here, so 4x plus 6. I'll want to bring my variables to the left, so subtract 4x. I get negative 1x equals 6. Divide by negative 1, and x equals negative 6. And again, you could always check your answer by replacing each of the x's with negative 6 to do a quick check. All right, 39. 39 says a can of lemonade comes with a measuring scoop, and directions for mixing are 2 scoops of mix for every 30 cups of water. So how much water is needed to make the entire can of lemonade if there are 40 scoops of mix? Well, this is setting up a proportion, and I like to set up what it is I'm going to compare in terms of the words first, and there's more than one way to set up that ratio, but I'm going to look at scoops per cups of water, and so they should be the same on both sides, number of scoops per cups of water. So the first ratio says 2 scoops for 30 cups of water. So 2 scoops for 30 cups of water. How much water, that's the cup, so that's what we're trying to solve for, so that's X, is needed to make the entire can of lemonade if there are 40 scoops. So here is your proportion. Cross multiply, 2 times X is 2X. 40 times 30 is 1200. Divide by 2, and X equals 600. Remember, with word problems, always go back and answer the question. The question said how much water is needed. Well, 600 cups of water is needed.